Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Jonathan Ahl. CHARIS, the St. Louis Women's Chorus, prides itself on its diversity of membership and repertoire. Led by Stuart Chapman Hill, the choir specializes in choral music for and about women and the LGBTQ community. The group's upcoming concerts tonight and tomorrow, titled Cruisin' the Mighty Mississippi, will feature America's iconic river songs that celebrate the thrill of travel, the renewal of being on the water, and the landmark musical cities on the river's winding path. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can give us a call at 314-382-8255. That's 314-382-TALK. You can send us an email to talk@stlpublicradio.org or tweet us at stlonair. Here in the studio with me to talk about the organization's specialties and its artistic director, Stuart Chapman Hill, and members Wendy Bell and Emma Young. Stuart, Wendy, Emma, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So let's start with the membership of the organization, because CHARIS defines itself as being a lesbian chorus, but it's open to all women. Who's in the choir, and how does that go to your mission?
Well, the choir was founded as a lesbian choir in the early 90s, but as you mentioned, all women are welcome to be a part of it. So we have singers who identify with a variety of sexual affectional orientations, and we have singers who have a variety of gender identities. So it really has made a transition from being a safe space for lesbian singers, which it remains, to also being a space for allies and others to join in making music on behalf of the communities that we, in our mission, support.
And how does that membership and mission affect your repertoire?
We try really hard to represent the people that we support. That includes subject matter. So, for example, last concert that we did in December was a celebration of the Muni, and some of the songs intentionally were from shows that have not yet been performed at the Muni, shows like Fun Home, like The Color Purple, that feature queer characters, that feature characters whose stories we want to tell. But we also program music by composers who are women, by composers who are out as members of the LGBTQ community. So that's part of the repertoire programming process as well.
Wendy, how did you get involved in the group?
I heard about it from a former colleague who we were meeting about something entirely different, and she casually said, "Oh, I'm going to my music rehearsal tonight, my chorus rehearsal." And I said, "What do you do?" "I'm looking for a musical outlet. Where are you going? And what is it?" And that's how I found out about CHARIS.
And what does it mean to you?
Well, for me, it's a time in my week that for 2 hours, the weight of the world falls away. All my busyness, all my stress, and it's just pure joy. And being with, I'm going to get a little teary, being with people that when you go there, nobody knows who you are or what you do. You're just singing. Whereas when you meet people out in the world, one of the first questions is, what do you do with yourself? Who are you? And this is just a place to be accepted and to sing and to celebrate music.
Emma, how did you get involved in the group?
So I'd made a new friend, actually, and we had just gone out for a drink, and she was talking about this choir that she had just joined and the concert they just had and how fun it was. And I was in choirs my whole life growing up and hadn't found a musical community in St. Louis. And so I was really excited. And I'd never been in a women's choir before. I'd always been in, co-ed choirs. And so I didn't know what that would be like. And I didn't know if I identify as a straight woman. So I said to her, I was like, "Oh, well, can straight women still join? I don't want to, intrude into a community where, I would sort of be distracting from the message or the community that's being built there." And she said, "Oh no, everyone is welcome. Absolutely, please come." And it's just been a really accepting environment. And I think I've been in some pretty strict choirs before where it was all about the music and not about the community. And that's, a very different type of outlet, although, really, really rewarding in its own way. But CHARIS is just as much about community as it is about the music. And I think that is what makes it such wonderful and wonderful musical and social environment as well.
I don't think we can talk about a choir for much longer without hearing some music. Let's hear CHARIS. This is Magic to Do from the musical Pippin from their last concert. That's Magic to Do from the musical Pippin, performed by CHARIS. Why was that song programmed?
It is a really terrific opener, and it's a really signature number from the musical Pippin. And the whole first half of last concert was all tunes from shows that have been performed at the Muni. So Pippin was among those. But also, we spent a lot of time talking about magic in the week leading up to that concert, because to go to Emma's comment about music and community being valuable in our space, both are instances in which we create our own magic. We create our own connections to each other. We create magic on stage. And so the idea of having magic to do, I think, is something that sort of courses through our musical veins. We want to create magical experiences in our community with each other, but also for our audiences when they come hear us sing.
There is a feeling that you get when you're in a musical ensemble that I don't think I can't describe it, but I don't think anybody can really understand it unless they've been in one. So Wendy or Emma, how do you process that magic and that idea of what you get as a musical community when you perform?
It's sort of like an amazing ball of hectic and really excited energy, especially we're in concert week right now. So our concert is tonight. So we've been prepping all week, and it's a lot more rehearsal than usual. There's a lot of all these things, all these puzzle pieces coming into place. So, we have additional instruments for some of the pieces, and we have some dance moves for some of the pieces. And so it's like the whole semester of music, when we're practicing, we sort of just believe in Stuart's vision that everything's going to kind of come together, and it always does, of course.
Sure.
But in that final week is when we get to start seeing it as well, and it's very, I don't know, catching is the word. I think we feel really excited to see all of our hard work really coming together and to make a bigger picture.
Well, when it comes to community involvement, what are some of the collaborations that CHARIS partakes in?
Sure. We increasingly get invited to go and sing with partners in the community. We've sung for an annual Transgender Day of Remembrance service. We just recently sang for an event with the St. Louis League of Women Voters at the St. Louis Women's Club. And so those are opportunities for us to take our music out into the community. We've also had instances in which members of the community were partners in the concert productions themselves. A couple concert cycles ago, before my arrival, was a program called Women Rising, and organizations like Planned Parenthood, for example, were actually involved in sharing some of their mission at the concert, and then there were songs that lined up with the missions of those organizations, those partner organizations. And we take that community connection very seriously in our work.
And that year we actually sang at the Women's March in 2016. So that was actually the semester that I first joined. So I joined in 2 weeks later. I was in front of, I don't know how many thousands of people were there, but that was a pretty cool partnership and opportunity for the chorus.
Yes, we also sing on the main stage of Pride during the summer, and we're going to be doing a gig at the Wild Bird Sanctuary, and we do something at the Muni. We do a pre-performance bit.
Yeah, we like to be out there.
Yes.
Let's hear some more music. This is Light from the musical Next to Normal, Let's hear a little bit of that. Some of Light from the musical Next to Normal, performed by CHARIS. And let's talk about this piece. Why was it chosen and programmed?
Yeah. So in addition to representing the folks who are part of our mission statement, we also want to call attention to various social justice or other important issues that are part of broader political, social, cultural conversation. And Next to Normal focuses very heavily on the issue of mental health. And so that was one of the stories that we wanted to be sure to surface. And I have to tell you, it's amazing to see the kind of joy that Wendy was describing. As you were playing that clip, I just had these images flashing through my mind of watching the singers whose faces I can see the whole time, when we're performing, and I see them looking back at me, and I see that joy. I'm going to get emotional now, radiating
totally
from them. It's just so special to have that community, and also with regard to issues like mental health, with folks that we need to support, like folks in the LGBTQ community, women, other folks who face oppression. It's I think really important that they have this cathartic space as well, a place to just let their voices wide open and make a sound in support of each other and of the other folks we intend to support.
How does addressing a difficult social issue, be it mental health or be it equal rights for sexual orientation, what makes music maybe a more approachable way to try to spread that idea and that message?
Well, I'd like to say that I think music touches everyone. I mean, it goes across all kinds of language barriers. I actually was just recently with my 96-year-old aunt who is Alzheimer's totally gone, but I was playing music for her, and it brought her forward, and it made her present, and it was very touching.
Yeah, I think it's just a really wonderful conduit for emotion that a lot of times in these political discourses or other social movements, sometimes emotion gets sidelined a lot, or a little bit at least. And I think that political singing, as it were, kind of gives an opportunity to marry those two things together.
Or maybe if there's emotion, it's heightened to a level of rhetoric, and
Sure.
Music makes it more
Absolutely
real, maybe
Totally.
more human.
Yeah. And embodied, I think. I mean, it lives there in your voice, in your person.
Now, our understanding is that the number of singers and the audiences have been growing the last couple of years. Why do we think that is?
I think we're doing a better job of getting ourselves out there in the community. So all of these opportunities that we have to go and partner with folks out in the community or to be a public presence, I think is part of it. But I also think, I mean, you've heard here today about 2 word-of-mouth referrals. I think people are saying, hey, I go and spend my Tuesday nights making this really meaningful music, and that's the best pitch that one can make, is that person-to-person connection, I believe.
Speaking of word of mouth, can you tell us a little bit about tonight and tomorrow's concert?
Sure. Tonight and tomorrow we're performing a concert called Cruisin' the Mighty Mississippi. It is in connection with the Missouri History Museum's upcoming exhibit later this fall, which is called Mighty Mississippi. So we're singing songs about water, about traveling on the river, but also from cities along the Mississippi's path, New Orleans, Memphis, St. Louis, Minneapolis. It's full of a variety of styles of music. There are even a few surprises along with the dance moves that Emma mentioned. It's everything from from Hank Williams to Prince in this concert. So it's a wide variety of great tunes.
How much overlap do you get between river songs and the kind of songs that you want to do to help identify your social agenda and the promotion of what your goals are?
That's a really terrific question. And so part of the idea in this concert has been to look at whose music we're performing. So maybe not Hank Williams in this instance, but for example, we're performing some pieces by women like Joan Shimko, who is an out lesbian composer, Jocelyn Hagan, another successful woman choral composer. So we're trying to engage in representation there as well.
Where and what time?
It's tonight and tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. at the Missouri History Museum in the Desley Auditorium. There are still some tickets available, so hurry up and get yourself some and come join us, please.
CHARIS, Artistic Director Stuart Chapman Hill, and members Wendy, Bell, and Emma Young have been joining us today. I want to thank all three of you very much for your time. Thanks for being here on St. Louis on the Air.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
The Gateway brings you the day's news from the St. Louis region and across Missouri. It also includes stories from the Illinois side of the river and our Metro East reporter, Will Bauer.
In Alton, in Belleville, in East St. Louis, in Edwardsville, in Cahokia Heights, at Scott Air Force Base, I'm Will Bauer, St. Louis Public Radio.
Listen to reports from Will and all of our journalists weekdays on the Gateway, on the STLPR app, and wherever you get podcasts.